Hello y'all, this is Jessica from Adominanistics YouTube channel, and the last time we did a video for this horror game called Dead by Daylight or DBD, we left off on this character here beside of Steve Harrington, the female character. Her name is Uni Kim Kimura, and today we're doing this character here below her. Her name is Zarina Kassir, and I'm not sure if you have to buy her with cash money or if she automatically comes with the game. So I don't really know for sure to tell you all. Anyways, I've got her prestige to a level 10, and her name is Zarina Kassir or Kassir. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Please forgive me if I'm not. And this is what she looks like, and this is how I have her dressed. I do enjoy playing this character, even though I don't play her a whole lot. I do enjoy to play her whenever I do. I play on this person's account right here, and I use their Steam account and all their other resources. Let's go over here and get into her bio, the bio about this character. Her name is Zarina Kassir. Growing up in a Lebanese household in Brooklyn, Zarina struggled with two unique cultural identities. She felt this cultural difference painted a target on her back. To avoid ridicule and bullies, she observed what popular kids liked and learned to project the image they preferred. At school, she would go by the name Karina, dye her hair lighter, and trash her foraging lunches. At home, the news channel was always on. Urgent reports of injustice captivated Zarina, inspiring her to produce her own stories. When she was a teenager, she embraced her real name and roots and borrowed her father's digital camera to interview members of her community in Bay Ridge. By posting her content online, she slowly built a loyal following. Each week, she picked a new issue and challenged people to speak their mind on camera. When she heard a rumor that a fast food restaurant owner was exploiting workers, she decided to go undercover and produce a hard-hitting film. She modified her look, faked an accent, and secured a waitress position at the restaurant. After 3 weeks of unpaid work, she was fired for demanding her paycheck. To retaliate, she posted clips of the restaurant owner's abusive behavior, and within hours, the news had picked up her story but somehow spun it to create sympathy for the restaurant owner. Embittered by the experience, Zarina committed to become an independent producer and filmmaker. Her first feature film was for a competition at school, and inspired by an English class poem about Sacco and Vanzetti, two Italian migrants controversially executed for murder. Her film won first prize and launched her as an uncompromising documentary filmmaker. Months later, her world turned upside down. A public video surveillance camera filmed her father carrying 2 coffees at a street corner a few blocks from home. A tall, hooded man stood behind him. The man shouted something at her father, who took a step back, startled. Suddenly and unexpectedly, the man pushed him to the street as a car sped by. His death sent a shockwave of anger and pain that left Zarina in pieces. The perpetrator, Clark Stevenson, was soon arrested and incarcerated for manslaughter. Zarina became obsessed with Clark, his gang IR through 28, his short prison sentence, his apparent lack of remorse. A year went by, and she had uncovered enough about Clark to shed more light on his crime. With the last of her inheritance, she bought a new camera, and a plane ticket to Nebraska and bribed the warden at Hellshire Penitentiary to let her interview Clark. Sorry, guys, I had a sneeze coming on. She filmed their first meeting and asked him about her father and his gang, his violent tendencies. Clark refused to talk, but in weeks that followed, she used his research to push his buttons and finally got a confession of premeditated crime. Zarina's film became a tribute to her father and the trial of the bloodhood left by gang violence. When the news finally picked up the story, it was because the film had gained international acclaim. Some inmates contacted her when they heard about her documentary. Most of them shared eccentric anecdotes in hopes of being filmed, but one story stood out from the rest. An entire wing in Hellshire Penitentiary was sealed off because of the Mad Mick massacre. The official story was an Irish outlaw had heartlessly slaughtered the warden and his guards. From working on her Sacco and Vanzetti film, Zarina knew that the official story wasn't always the true story. She investigated Hellshire's records and found an Irish-American inmate sentenced to 20 years for assault in 1860, according to the Penitentiary's blueprint. The sealed-off wing was part of Hellshire's original infrastructure. If she reached that sealed-off section, she could shed some light on the Mad Mick story. All she needed was a way in. Next morning, she was joining the Hellshire Penitentiary's walking tour. She blended in the crowd of a jet-lagged tourist and veered off when they headed towards the kitchen. She'd memorized the blueprint and knew exactly where to go and how to avoid surveillance cameras. An unexpected security detail nearly cut her investigation short, but she was able to hide under an old, dusty prison bed. When the guards disappeared, she continued her search and finally found Mick's cell. Entering the dark, duplicated cell, Zarina ran her hand across the old brick wall. Her fingers felt a marking and traced the letters "Death to the Bayshore." A loose brick fell, revealing a gap. She inserted her hand. Fingers landed on a piece of cold, cracked metal. She fished it out. An old rusty wrench. A damp chill ran down her spine, and she looked down. A man lay at her feet, bleeding, his limbs contorted and his eyes dark and terrified. Her father's eyes, a pool of crimson blood on black pavement. Paralyzed black fog filled the cell, and she shut her eyes to push these nightmarish visions out of her mind. So that is her story, her bio about Zarina. Now let's go into her perks. And I like a couple of her perks, and I do like to play Zarina sometimes. So this is her first perk. It's called Off the Record. It's in the purple, so it's a rare perk. Let's read it together. It says, You've learned that a quiet approach is sometimes best. Once you are unhooked or escape from the hook, off the record activates for 80 seconds. This perk and its effects are disabled once the exit gates are powered. While off the record is active, your aurora will not be shown to the killer. Grunts of pain caused by injuries are reduced by 100%. Gain the endurance status effect. Endurance prevents a survivor from being downed. Inflicted deep wound instead. Deep wound will put a survivor in the dying state unless it is mended before the timer runs out. Trust me, I investigate thoroughly and discreetly. Zarina Kassir. That's her quote. Next one is called Red Herring. It's in the purple, so it's a rare perk. You've noticed that people pay attention to whatever makes the loudest noise. After repairing a generator for 3 seconds, it will be highlighted to you with a yellow aurora. The generator stays highlighted until it is fully repaired. You repair a new generator or enter a locker. Entering any locker will trigger a loud noise indicator for the killer at the highlighted generator's location. Red herring can only be triggered once every 40 seconds. The news edits out what is a burdensome and complex, which is the truth. Zarina Kassir, that's her quote. For the people, I use this one and the first one a lot of her perks sometimes. It's in the purple, so it's a rare perk. You risk life and injury for others. For the people is only active while at full health. Press the active ability button 1 while healing another survivor without a medkit to instantly heal them from the dying or injured state, or injured to healthy. You become injured and receive the broken status effect for 60 seconds. You become the obsession. Equipped in this perk decreases your chances of being the killer's obsession at the start of the trial. The killer can only be assessed with one survivor at a time. Broken prevents survivors from being healed. We can write our own story and decide how it really ends. Zarina Kassir. Okay, I want to go to her customizations. I've actually bought quite a few customizations for her when I was playing her. She has the Bloody Zarina Kassir one because she is prestiged past a level 9. So she's already got the free stuff with Dead by Daylight. She has the Bay Ridge Freelancer. And then she has this Brooklyn Interviewer, New York Reporter. That's what I'm wearing right now for her. Corruption Reporter, Opinion Sampler, Undercover Reporter, Watchdog Reporter, and Zarina Kassir. That's her original outfit. And like I said, I'm wearing this one. And then let's go over here to her loadout. You can't see her perks I'm running because I'm still playing Chaos Shuffle that's going on right now. And we'll just put something in the offering just so she'll have something. And that's what her blood web looks like. Anyways, that was Zarina Kassir. And I hope y'all enjoyed this video. And I appreciate those of you who have watched. And I will talk to you later. Thank you. Bye-bye.